Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here, debating the 9-game NBA main slate on Thursday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings, and I also make videos for NBA Top Shot. If you're unable to watch these videos, I also upload an Apple Podcast. Link down below. It is called the DKDFS Show. And if you could, when you have a free minute or two, leave a 5-star rating and review. That would help me out a ton because every single rating boosts my podcast up in the rankings. So if you could, again, that would be greatly appreciated. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer that on Patreon.com, an esports package that includes Call of Duty and CS:GO, as well as an NBA package. And I do want to thank Prize Picks for sponsoring this episode. If you're not familiar with Prize Picks, the idea is they post players and their fantasy scores or projections, and you can either take the over or the under. So right now they have 8 players posted for tomorrow. There'll be a lot more throughout the day. They will have second half contests at times, fourth quarter contests at times. So like right now they have 3 players posted for the fourth quarter. They have every single sport you can think of. And what I always say about Prize Picks, it's a nice change of pace because you're not playing against anyone. You're just playing against the house. So if you guys want to try it out, you can sign up and use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You will get a 100% match up to $100. So basically, if you put $100 in, you get a free $100 to play with. And finally, as always, you guys are the best. The live streams have been insane recently. 300 to 400 concurrent viewers. Super chats. Again, you guys are being super generous. Not necessary at all, but again, I just want to give a special shout out to all you guys. If you could, leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't want to upload videos you don't want to go live. I will be doing a YouTube live stream tomorrow, so make sure to check it out. And let's try to get 150 likes on this video. All right, so before we talk about players and the prices for this 9-game slate, we can look back at my lineup here from Wednesday. I don't know about you guys. I am very tired of getting trolled by coaches. So what do I mean by that? Well, it hasn't happened in a while, but I got popped tonight. Low-owned Jakob Poeltl. We just talk about that if you played him. He had like 18 fantasy points midway through the second quarter. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a big night. Let's go. Doesn't do much, in the end of the second quarter and into the third quarter. It's about, anywhere from a 10 to 15 point game with about 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Not super worried about it. And, Popovich, what does he do? Waves the white flag. Bring Gorgie Jang and the end of the bench guys. You give Jakob Poeltl his last 7 minutes, probably goes for at least 30 plus. So tilted about that. And Steven Silas is now added to the list after playing Kelly Olynyk a grand total of like 10 first half minutes. Oh, so tilted, guys. So let's go over my lineup here. I can get out of the way so you guys can see. Yeah, Kelly O is actually crushing in his time. Literally played like 10 first half minutes. So, Westbrook, Fournier. Don't get me started with Evan Fournier. THT, Kuzma, Poeltl, Peyton Pritchard, Kelly O, and Drummond. So, again, tilted about the Poeltl. Popovich got popped. Missed out in the last 8 minutes. Starters should not have been pulled. Again, that's typical Pop. Got popped. Let's see. Evan Fournier. This is why I don't play Evan Fournier, man. Literally every single person out besides like Tatum in that offense, he has been going for 35 plus, gone for 50 last game with everyone in the lineup. And now he's the absolute chalk. I finally buy in floor gain. 28 fantasy points for Evan Fournier. Let's see. What else I got to tilt about? Yeah, really just the Fournier game. The Jakob Poeltl getting pulled. Pop, you're the worst. And Kelly Olynyk's first half minutes. We'll see. We'll see how it finishes. I think I have a chance if Kellyo actually plays more than 20 minutes tonight, because he's on fire right now. Drummond, I took the shot there. He's actually having a good game, thankfully. He was really popular, too. And then Kuzma and THT, I thought were good plays, obviously, once Caruso's out and LeBron and AD are out. So that is it for the look back. Hope you guys had a good night, and let's talk about this 9-game slate. So Clippers and Hornets at 224 over under. Clippers 8-point favorites. Magic, Hawks 227.5 over under. Hawks 12.5-point favorites. And the Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves 235.5 over under. Nuggets 6-point favorites. Oh, I got to tilt too. Scott, I know I didn't play anyone besides Westbrook, but man, if you played Rui, he just playing well, doesn't come back in. Doesn't come back in the fourth quarter, Rui. Also, Gafford smashing. Nah. Doesn't close. All right, Clippers, Hornets. So what is the over, or what's the spread? 8-point spread. I think this game can stay close. And looking at the pricing, I think Kawhi Leonard stands out at 8-4. Now I know we haven't really seen a big score from him in a while, but okay, 36 minutes in a tough matchup. Shot awful, 9 of 26. Went for 40 plus fantasy points. Blowout here. Been involved with a bunch of blowouts. I think we get 35 plus minutes in a close game. This game, I think, stays close. It's a good matchup. I like this price in Kawhi Leonard. I think he's a safe play with some upside. Don't mind PG. Would rather get to Kawhi, though. The rest of the Hornets are all secondary plays. Zubac had a big game last game. I mean, him and Boogie will split the center run. Beverly started at point, but I don't really want to, target a point guard in a three-headed monster of him, Rondo, and Reggie Jackson. So probably staying away from the rest of the team. On the Hornets side, LaMelo and Rozier are just tournament plays. PJ's too pricey for me. Devontae Graham is back too. He played 33 minutes the last game. I think he's actually, the Hornet I like the best, assuming we get similar run for Devontae Graham. So yeah, Devontae Graham at 5'9" is probably the guy for me. McDaniels at 5-1 lost minutes. He's kind of not out of play. Only played 25 the last game. I will mention the Cody. I mentioned Cody Zeller's, a low-owned flyer last slate. He went for 37. Now, do they really need to play him more in this matchup? No. I mentioned him because hey, Denver's a big team. I think Cody Zeller could play more. We know he's a good point per minute guy, and he smashed at literally no ownership. I think a couple of you guys played him, tweeted at me, so congrats if you did. Went for 37 at literally no ownership. But now the price came up a little bit to 4.2. You just don't really know what's going to happen in the center rotation, but I think he's still worth a look in GPPs. All right, Milwaukee and Indiana. So, Milwaukee side. Love the matchup here for the Bucks. Love the matchup. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a solid spend up. You can't get much of a better spot here than the Indiana Pacers. I really like Giannis there at the top. If you want to take shots in secondary plays, I get it. There's no one else that really stands out, but because of the matchup, they're all viable. Now on the Pacers side, I am fine going right back to my boy Sabonis. Bucks play super fast. Did you see what happened in that last game? Bucks Spurs. The Spurs put almost 150 points up on them. This game is probably going to be close to 250 over under. I think Sabonis' price will scare some people off. 75, 74, 74, 72, 60. He's basically Russell Westbrook right now, but cheaper. He's playing massive minutes. He's going to get you close to a triple-double. I like Sabonis at the top. I think LeVert is firmly in play as well below 9K. Also, just going to play the massive minutes. Right? This Pacers team, they're just giving all the run to LeVert and Sabonis, and that's where the offense is. So I like both those guys a good amount here for GPPs. Brissett, no thank you. McConnell at 5.5 will play 25 minutes on the bench. Fair play, but doesn't really stand out. Keep an eye on Aaron Holiday news. Sumner's out, Lamb's out. If Aaron Holiday's out too, I like Justin Holiday, who started and played 32 minutes last game. Not the best point per minute guy, but should get over 30 minutes. Would like him for value. You can take a shot at McDermott too. But that's probably it for me for the Pacers. Magic and Hawks. I honestly, I don't trust anyone on this team right now. If Mo Bamba's out, the guy probably would take a shot on would be Wendell Carter Jr., who played over 30 minutes the last game. Decent point per minute guy, but like that's probably it. Like I don't think I can stomach RJ at that price. Mo Wagner, I don't really trust the minutes for baking. I just don't trust the minutes for this team right now. So I'm probably just going to stay away from this Magic side. On the Hawks side, it's tricky because the matchup's pretty solid here against this Magic team, but I'm worried about the blowout. So like Trae Young, Capella, Bogdanovich, Collins, all for me are just GPP only plays. Philadelphia and Miami depends on Embiid. Embiid sat the last game. If Embiid is out, even though it's a bad matchup, I think Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris would be pretty solid plays in the mid-range. Both get a massive boost when Embiid is off the court. And then would like Dwight Howard, even though he was a bust last game, probably plays 25 minutes off the bench. So it would be Simmons, Tobias, and Dwight if Embiid is out. If Embiid is in, it's just Embiid is can try and spend up. On the Miami side, a little bit tricky. So Jimmy's questionable. If Jimmy's in, there's not much I love here. If Jimmy's out, we can look to Bam. But again, if Embiid's in, I don't like targeting centers against Joel Embiid. And then it's tricky because now all three of the guards are healthy with Hero, Nunn, and Dragic. And Hero has been playing out of his mind two of the last three games. Shot 10 of 13, 10 of 15, 39 and 46 fantasy points. He's finally turning it on. I'm a big Tyler Hero fan, so I'm happy. I'm glad he is. I really like this kid as a player. If there's no Jimmy Butler, it's basically those three that I think look decent in the mid-range, that being Nunn, Dragic, and Hero. I think all probably hover around 30 minutes, give or take. So those three would be guys I would consider in the mid-range if there's no Jimmy. Let's move on to San Antonio and New York. So DeRozan, Murray, not the best matchup, but I think they're both fine tournament plays. Once again, it's going to be Jakob Poeltl for me. He was on pace for 35 minutes if that game didn't blow out. Or if it technically really didn't blow out, just Popovich waved the white flag. I know it's not the best matchup here, but if we're going to get 35 minutes out of Poeltl, I like him at that price. And then the rest of the value are all just, GPP plays. Guys like Lonnie, Rudy, Keldon, don't really trust them, but if you want to take a shot in one, I'm not going to talk you off them. On the New York Knicks side, so Julius Randle at 9.4, I think what makes for a pretty safe play. He's been in a lot of tough matchups, Denver, Phoenix, the Clippers, the Lakers. This is finally a better spot against the Spurs. He's going to play about 40 minutes. I think Randle's a pretty safe play at that price. RJ is in play just because of the minutes. I don't like playing him, but he's going to play massive minutes. Now, we got some pretty important news to go over. Rose questionable. Bullock questionable. Quickly questionable. Alec Burks questionable. If they are all out, oh boy. I mean, I don't even know what Tibbs is going to do. We would have to start with Alfred Payton, who probably plays 30-plus minutes and be the best value in the slate. But knowing Tibbs, who would probably troll us and go to Frank Ntilikina instead. But seriously, if Burks, D. Rose, and Quickly are out, Payton's basically the only point guard. So would really like Alfred Payton if that's the case. And then, I don't know who starts for Bullock. Is it Obi Toppin? Is it Kevin Knox? I honestly don't know because they run such a tight rotation. So, we'll just have to monitor the news. If everyone has questionables in, then really for me, it is Rose, who I liked a lot last game at low ownership, crushed. I mean, he's just playing phenomenal basketball. I like Derrick Rose if he plays here. And then I think NERLENS NOEL at 4.2 is a fine value play that will play 25 to 30 minutes. So, yeah, monitor the news there for the Knicks, and if a lot of those guys are out, if there are, then there's definitely some value. Kings, Grizzlies. Fox still out. Barnes out. Bagley, I think, is doubtful. And Buddy Hield, I believe, is probable. Yeah. So this is a good matchup here. This game should stay close. Been involved with some blowouts recently. But, yeah, Buddy Hield below 8K. I'm fine with him. He's going to do a lot of the peripheral stats. I think he looks decent at the top. I like DeLon Wright. Also, just going to play massive minutes. Should play 35-plus in a close game. Great matchup. Has triple-double upside. So the top two guards here for Sacramento I have interest in. Holmes at 6'9", really hasn't had a big game in a while. I think it's just more of a tournament play. Davis off the bench has been phenomenal if you want to continue to ride that hot streak. The price is getting up to the point where it makes him a little riskier. And then with Bagley out, Met2 started and played 29 minutes. I think he'd be a solid value if he starts again. And then Mo Harkless, just playing huge minutes, continues to get it done. I know when I'm finally going to buy into Mo Harkless, he's going to bust. But yeah, I think he is also in play. Moving on to Memphis, it really depends on Jonas Valanciunas. If Jonas Valanciunas plays, I love him at this price. Now, if Jonas Valanciunas is out, then I think Ja Morant makes for a pretty good play. He was smashing at low ownership last game. That game blew out. If you played Ja, I feel for you last slate. He was a great play. But yeah, if there's no Triple J, If there's no JV, then Triple J, I think, maybe plays a few extra minutes. The only worry with him is foul trouble, but, great matchup. I do like Triple J if there's no Jonas Valanciunas. And then value guys like Xavier Tillman and Brandon Clark. I assume Xavier Tillman starts, probably plays 25 to 30 minutes. We'll like him for value. Clark off the bench probably gets around 20. So those two would like for value. You can make the argument for slow-mo too. So really a lot of this depends on JV. If JV's in, it's probably just Jonas Valanciunas for me, maybe Ja Morant. No, I'd say it's JV and Triple J and maybe Ja Morant if JV's in. If JV's out, it's Ja, Triple J, and the value bigs in Clark and Tillman. All right, Toronto, Chicago. So everyone resting here for Toronto. Looks like it's going to be an 8-man rotation, I believe. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Kem Birch at 6'3". Should play about 30 minutes, but doesn't really stand out at that price. I hate a guy like this in this type of situation because Gary Trent's going to shoot the ball like 25 times, but he can still go for like 15 fancy points if he's not hitting his shots. But if he gets hot, he can break the slate, and I think he's going to be decently popular. So it's just a scary fade because he's just going to shoot the ball like an insane amount. I like Trent for tournaments. Again, though, still is a low floor. Malachi Flynn probably plays about 30 minutes, a fair play in the mid-range there. And then keep an eye on the starting lineup. I think Watanabe probably starts. If he does, I like him for value at 3.9. Basically, you make the argument for any of these guys. I think all of them probably play at least 20 minutes. Bembry at 4K. Jalen Harris should get the backup point guard run. He's actually played well off the bench. And then Freddie Gillespie at 3.6. Honestly, I think I prefer him to Birch. I think we probably get around 20 minutes from Gillespie. So I would rather take a shot on him than Birch. But really, I think Toronto's a team we're going to want some exposure to for the value. All right, Chicago, a little bit worried about the blowout, but Vucevic is in play here for GPPs. Man, I liked him last night against Brooklyn. He shot 5 of 18 for a big. Like, really, Vooch. If he just has a half-decent shooting game, he goes for, 55 probably. So that was a little bit tilting. But yeah, don't mind Vooch here for GPPs. Levine had a big game. If you want to go to either of those guys for tournament, that's fine. But there's not a ton I love. Denver and Minnesota. So Minnesota's been playing well, so a little more confidence this game can stay close. I think Nikola Jokic at the top looks pretty solid. Now, hasn't really had a big game in a while, but maybe this is it in an up-tempo match against Minnesota. MPJ is perfectly fine as the number 2 guy. Campazzo should start and play, around 35 minutes. Monte being back didn't really hurt Campazzo. I think he's a safe play in the mid-range. Rivers should start. Probably plays about 30 minutes. Fair value. The bigs on the bench, I don't trust Millsap because if he doesn't start, there's a chance he gets a DNP. JaMychal Green probably gets about 20 off the bench, but yeah, never really feel good about the guys not starting. On the Minnesota side, don't mind Cat as a contrarian GPP play. I think my favorite play is D'Lo, who should get, probably 35 minutes in a close game. Back-to-back blowouts here. Back-to-back 45 fancy point games in blowouts. Also bad shooting, 9 of 21, 5 of 18. What I like is this, right? 6 boards, 7 assists, 5 boards, 10 assists. He's getting a ton of assists right now, so I think D'Lo is a pretty good play there at that price. And then I don't even mind Ricky Rubio, who's starting and probably plays about 30 minutes. Again, fair play because you can stuff the stat sheet. I'm probably not going to get to the value. Vanderbilt started but lost minutes. Again, they got McDaniels too. I'm probably not going to get to the Minnesota value. Finally, Portland and Phoenix. So, got to mention my boy Bosnian, the Bosnian Beast again. He went off today. I think he went for 50+, and no one played him. He did play more minutes too. Now, it is a back-to-back. We'll see, but I just love playing this guy because he's such a good point per minute guy. So I like Nurkic again. He'll be low owned again. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, same thing I'll say about them this slate. They're going to be low owned because of the matchup, but they're going to play big minutes in a competitive game. This game should stay close. So like all 3 of the main guys here for GPPs, my favorite being Nurkic. And finally, Phoenix. So I think Chris Paul is probably my favorite. Should play 30 to 35 minutes. A guy that has the floor, the peripheral stats. It's a really good matchup here. Booker probably has a little bit of a higher ceiling if you're shooting for that upside, but like both the guards, Ayton's been really, really up and down. I don't really trust going to him. I think Jay Crowder is just a fine play at 4.7. Should get about 30 minutes. Fair value. And that is probably it for the Phoenix Suns. I think that's going to do it for the video as well. So if you have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate if you hit the like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos, you don't live. I will be doing a YouTube live stream tomorrow. Make sure to check it out. Thanks again. Have a good night, guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow in the live stream.